or some of you probably have been waiting for the whole day. How many of you watched the fascinating Tinder Swindler documentary on Netflix? Please raise your hand. Okay, perfect. So if you watch it, you know what's going to happen next. I'm honored to say that the amazing Cecilie Fjellhøy is here with us today to share her story in an in-depth interview with Reut Menashe, CEO of Tetrisponse. Cecilie has used her experience to share her story and has founded Action Reaction. I want to call both Reut and Cecilie to the stage.
Thank you.
Cecilie, I know that this is your story, but I want to say just spend 5 seconds on Reut before we will start this interview. You are the CEO of Tetrisponse,
yes.
But you also do some other important things.
Yes, I am. I'm the co-organizer of 2 amazing communities. I encourage all of you to Google and find this online. Besides TLV, which is one of the biggest hackers conference, it's starting tomorrow. It's going to be here in Small Arch Auditorium. You are all welcome. And leading Cyber Ladies, which is a great community to empower women in cyber.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I told you that I think we need more women in cyber, and the community that you manage is great. Thank you so much for that. Enjoy your session. Cecilie, thank you so much for coming.
God.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Cecilie Fjellhøy, right? I said it correctly?
Yeah.
First, I'm really excited that you are here in Tel Aviv in Cyber Week, and thank you for coming to this stage. I'm going to start and give a little background for the ones who didn't saw the Tinder Swindler. Cecilie Fjellhøy, you scammed of close to $250,000 by a man you knew as Simon Levayev, a con artist made famous by Netflix Tinder Swindler. You are the founder of Action Reaction, a non-profit organization that aims to support victims of fraud and campaigns to change legislation to ensure victims get the right help. Now you became a public speaker on fraud and continues to fight for justice for other victims of fraud around the world. So you've gone through trials against 4 banks. You suspected the police, right? You are bankrupt in the United Kingdom. The fraudsters has made a lawsuit against you. And more other women as well. And you created a foundation. And you are a real fighter. So I would want to start with a question. Did you fall in love?
As I said, like, when it comes to love fraud, they're using emotions, so you do actually fall in love truly and wholeheartedly for them to be able to do what they did.
Yeah, I can understand. So did you transfer $250,000 of money of him? Can you elaborate a little bit how the techniques?
Yeah, like how he does it is a really interesting aspect when it comes to cyber as well, because it's been a lot of talk about digital identity, and in Norway we have almost everyone has a digital identity, and they are very secure, and when you sign a loan contract, it's almost like you're doing it manually, well, but you do it digitally. So he used my credit cards with my name all over the world, and I had to call the banks when I was then in London. He, for example, was in Cape Town, had problems with the card, and I then had to call the different banks pretending that, hi, I'm in Cape Town now, I'm trying to use my card, and it didn't work. And then I started taking up high consumer debt loans to be able to pay them, and by that, my digital identity, it seemed like everything was okay, you know, but in reality, that was not the reality, and I was in a huge crisis at the time.
I think that almost every person has been tricked or trusted someone that he should not trust. Were there any red flags?
I get this question all the time about red flags, and I know when it comes to fraud and how we can prevent it, and of course it was. I'm saying, like, I gave him my credit card. That's maybe the biggest red flag of them all, and it was proper love bombing. It was a very huge change in how I was acting and my spend. But the thing is that you don't see the red flags when they happen. And I think that is why fraud will continue to happen, because no matter how many times you talk about the red flags, we can't see them. That's the issue.
In my perspective and my experience as an incident response company, we always see the thing that you won't believe that's happening, but it's happening. That's the whole idea behind social engineering techniques and being very sophisticated, I guess. So we support, my company support businesses that needs to recover from destructive cyber attacks. Their network, their computer, their business operations are being damaged very bad in cyber attacks, and we help them to recover. So I know how to recover technology. I'm wondering, a person that got involved in such in a fraud, what will be? Can you share your recovery story?
The recovery has been really, really difficult, because it's when you have such high debt, and I had 9 creditors and there was high consumer debt loans. It's almost impossible in Norway, where I'm from and where most of the loans were, to actually one bank forgave the debt, the rest, and as you said, 4 of them took me to court, so I had to stand trial as was almost called a criminal. So the recovery has been really, really difficult. The police have dropped the cases. I was a suspect. It has been incredibly difficult to try to recover, because it's not like you're a business. And I say recovery as well. I've just been talking about, legalities and economics, but the mental health aspects here is something completely different. So there, I think peer support and having the other girls in the documentary has helped tremendously, and that's where I see, because a lot of the times I feel we're thinking of how we can kind of get our money back, but you need to get your health back as well to be able to do that. You need to be able to be strong enough and fight to be able to get your money or recover in any aspects.
And you're still recovering?
Yeah, like I have all the debts. The documentary has helped, so I hope to be clear in 2022, but it has accumulated to $350,000 now, so because of the interest that is still on the loans.
Wow. So I want to ask a little bit from the perspective of the organizations, such as banks, credit cards, companies, identity providers. What do you think should be the responsibility? What kinds of measurement they could or they should have taken?
As I say, it was very clear that I was being defrauded. There were several aspects where I'm questioning my bank, why they didn't interfere before. When you have a spend of over $250,000 over 54 days, that is insane amount of money. I've never spent that. And it was never that they blocked the card or understood that it wasn't me using it. And those are the type of things when I go and ask them, all the responsibility is yours because you sign the loan agreements, and I get it, but it just shows that there are no responsibility that the financial institutions, in my case, I'm saying that, are taking to kind of share responsibility, as I say. Of course, I did it. I got defrauded, but that's a crime as well. So yeah, some responsibility would have been nice that they took.
I guess this is the part why you created and founded the Action Reaction.
Yeah, because I see that there are no laws to support. Like I went to trial and I lost both court cases. So that was so traumatic, and to see that there are no laws, and there are so many other victims that have contacted me. There's so much fraud out there in different aspects, and I think the organization is by fraud victims for fraud victims, because I think it's so important that us victims have a voice as well, and not just people talking for us or about us.
What would you recommend to similar victims as you?
I think for everyone, I think it's really important that when crime is being committed towards you, that you are actually going to the police. You have to report it no matter what, because I think as banks, financial institutions, they need to know the numbers. They need to know the real numbers, not that there's huge dark numbers here, so they can prioritize it correctly. It's a big business. It's $1 billion business, and I think it needs to be taken seriously. There are people, as I said, killing themselves over this, and we don't want to lose more lives, and that's how I view it.
So do you think that the world learned from your story?
I think it has. I'm really optimistic. I've been so happy to see the reception, and being here in Tel Aviv, where the fraudster is, it's been a real pleasure for me, and I've been so welcomed, and I'm so happy to be here, and I think the world is learning, and because I can just see here, I'm being invited to speak to you guys. I know I'm a stranger in all of this. So I'm so happy and I'm traveling around the world, spreading the message and seeing that baby steps, I think we can create change, because I think it's important to bring us into the work. And don't think of us as I say, call us victims, but I don't feel myself as a victim. I feel like I'm doing something that is hugely important to change society, actually.
I agree. When we prepare for this session, I ask you, Cecilia, how do you want me to? I don't feel comfortable to use the word victim. But so how do you want me to call you? So.
No, I think that now I've changed it to be like, we're talking about I can't be a victim, because that's what you were, and my recovery is that I was never viewed as a victim. Like, the police dropped the case, I was a suspect with the UK police, you went to trials, you were never viewed as a victim, and I think at the start that is so important for us. Have empathy, take us in, and then maybe we will fight, with you. Not against you, as I've had to do.
So a message of empathy.
Yes.
That's what also Chris already mentioned on his previous. People first.
People first.
Yeah.
That was a very powerful talk, and I was just nodding in the back there with so much of what he was saying, As I said, stop saying that, for example, the digital identity in Norway, the financial organizations say that's 100% safe, and it's not, so.
All right, so words to summarize our session. You're creating a change. You are a true inspiration. What's in your future?
It's a lot of interesting and exciting stuff. I'm still fighting for justice. As you know, he's still out there. But he was supposed to attend a hearing in Tuesday, so I'm still fighting to get him in jail. But and I'm going around the world. I want to create action reaction to have mental health support, and as I say, change laws in the United Kingdom and in Norway, starting there. So, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about, but this is not the last.
Okay. So more is to come?
More is going to come.
All right. Thank you very much for being here and sharing your story, Cecilia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your story. And for everything that you're doing to help other victims.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reut. Okay, everybody, just a few things before you leave. I want to tell you, number one, tomorrow is going to be an amazing, amazing day. We're going to have 3 amazing sessions. Number one, besides, it's going to be in this hall. It's an amazing event. I don't know, if you don't have tickets, you might be out of luck, because I think the tickets ran out, but you should check it. Also, FraudCon, a whole conference about fraud, a brilliant conference at Bar Shira Hall, which is not that far away from here. And we're gonna also have Israel Aviation Conference at the Tel Aviv University. You have the schedule on the internet and in your badge. So tomorrow is an amazing, amazing day. You should know that as well. The schedule for today, is not ending right now. There are several events starting right now. There is the Triangle, conference on the Triangle, the NFT, crypto, and cyber. There is securing ICT supply chain, Yaglum Auditorium, playing on the global stage, understanding the cyber trends and making the big deals. So there are a lot of events. You can check it in your badge and on the internet. Go there, you will enjoy it. The only last thing that I wanted to tell you is that we already have the dates for Cyber Week 2023, and it's gonna be June 26th till June 29th. So just write in your schedule right now, June 26th till June 29th, Cyber Week 2023. Guys, I had such a great pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much. See you again next year.